Hi guys, this is Tony Rodder from Fit Solutions. I'm going to be bringing you a Sunday morning workout. It's taking place in the garden. Looks like it's going to be a nice day today. So it just proves that you don't need to have that gym membership. You can do workouts at home, within the garden, within your living room, within the bedroom. As you can hear, I'm at home and I've got a screaming little girl in the house, so I've managed to get away, and I'm going to burn some energy as well as some frustration with this core workout. I have a total of 6 core workouts. Those 6 that I'm bringing you, this is one of 6 today, and they are advanced core. So I don't recommend these if you're a beginner, but possibly try if you believe that you're an intermediate heading towards being advanced. So what I'm going to do, bring it today, is one of my favourite of the drills. Workout number 1, which is variations of plank. And all we do is we always alternate between a plank hold. So I'm going to show you correct and effective position that we need to hold the plank, which is a isometric hold. Nothing really should move throughout the plank. I'm going to give you 2 variations, an easier and a harder variation, and then exercise B throughout will change and be a variation of a plank with movement. So although we're contracting all the key core muscles through plank, if we add in a little bit of movement, mainly it's going to add that variation. How long can you hold a plank? Where I think if you add this variation in, you'll find that you can get through the 12-minute workout a lot easier than what you would if it was 12 minutes of plank. Plank followed plank by a plank variation. So remember that we do 30 seconds of plank, 30 seconds, which is exercise A, then we do 30 seconds. Don't think she's gonna show up. And then we're going to do a second exercise of 30 seconds. In between those exercise A and B, there's literally 10 seconds rest. It's not really a rest because you're just preparing yourself to go into the next plank. If anything, have a little sort of stretch, drop the chest down towards the floor, come upright and bring your arms back. Anything that you need to do, because you're going to feel this in arms, shoulders, as well as your chest and core and upper legs. So what we're going to do is start off with plank to get us cracking. I'm just going to reel through, remember, plank variation, and I'm going to quickly go through the variation to the plank which you add on as exercise B. So the plank first. This is most important. I'll spend a bit of time that we get this right, because 9 out of 10 don't do the plank as they should. First option is the one that you'll commonly see. Plank, we go on the forearms, we go on the toes, and we get a nice alignment of the spine. We want to make sure that we're fully on the forearms. We want to feel as if the shoulders are above or slightly ahead of the elbows. Most people are going to drop the hips down. We need to engage core, so we push the hips up, and we need to put the heels forward so we feel the core being engaged. If I push my heels back, that's an easy ride. That's an easy alternative. I'm going to go to that. I'm not really feeling it. If I put my backside up in the air, it switches up and hits the top line of my abdominals, but not as effective as if I bring it forward. So hips slightly high, take the weight forward, feel as if your heels are leading your toes, and hold for 30 seconds. Important that we get the plank right. Too many people, backsides ride high, hips are initiating the movement. You find that they're reaching to the sky. Try to just have a little squeeze up, so we draw the belly button in, contract the abdominals and keep them there throughout. A lot of yous will be quite surprised to find out that advanced plank is actually upright, because a lot will give this as an easy option, because that is an easy option. If I stay there in that position, that's the easy option. Look at my feet. Hopefully you can see my feet. You can see my heels are pushing back. So all I'm doing there is stretching my calf muscles, and I'm getting ready to push up, which is no good. I want to bring it forward, get on my toes. Now I'm engaging core, now I can feel it. Don't know whether you'll be able to get that, but I promise you, through my wrist up to my shoulder is shaking. So that's the muscle contraction, that's the fibers not happy, squeezing and squeezing and squeezing, and they want to give way. So that's a plank. So variations in between. We start off with plank climber. All of these are going to be in the first option rather than the advanced option. So plank climber, we take that position, and one after the other we bring knee up towards the chest. Try to keep the knee close to the floor, hip stays up nice and high, and all the weight is forward. From the front, forearms go down, toes, heels forward, hips up slightly, engage core, and knees come in. Plank climber. Plank, outer heel touch. It is what it is. Plank position, momentarily we go onto one forearm and we reach down and we touch the outer heel. Love this exercise, really improves core, and you should find it's difficult. Touch, 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 and touch. If you're doing the core correctly before you start moving, the reason why it's advanced, beginners should just fall when that one hand comes away. It is that tough. So get into position. From there we reach up, extend the hip up, bring the hip in first, then follow with the knee and touch. Outer heel touch. Plank jack. Now with this one, I don't want you to go fast. A lot of people do mountain jacks from the push-up position, in, out with the feet. We're going to slow the feet down, so we're keeping the hips as still as possible. Any movement with the hips is going to just take away the effect that we're trying to achieve on the abdominals. So plank, get into position. So as soon as we go forward, that should be a challenge. Bring the feet together, and we're trying to lift up and jack out, keeping the hips in the same position. Check my speed out. It's not fast. I'm not trying to do a CV workout. Throughout, I'm trying to engage core. I can change that exercise to make it more lung based. You can see I'm slightly out of breath. So the movement is going to hit your lungs. I guarantee your heart rate's going to rise. You can speed that up and make it more sort of cardio effective to improve conditioning. But remember, this is core, trying to target all that core region, all the midsection and the lower back, which is really going to help us with functional movement and day-to-day activities. Then I'm going to do a plank hike. Now this is torture for 30 seconds. I've seen people hold this for 30 seconds with ease, and it means that they're not hitting the correct position. So all it is a plank on the forearms, we walk it in, and what's most important is that weight goes forward, and these shoulders should burn beyond belief. So plank, toes come forward, we go in, and we hike up. You see all my weight is forward, I'm literally biting on my fingers to hold this. 30 seconds of that, I'm being honest with you, took me 3 weeks to master, and I'm still 20 seconds ready to drop, and that's the way you should be. If any of these you do need to drop before 30 seconds, hey, that's fine. Take a longer breather, just means you need it, and you're working and you're progressing to try to get that a little bit harder. Next one is plank thrusts. Another one, don't know if you've realised, but there's a kind of pattern here, and it's pretty difficult. Every exercise seems to be getting more and more difficult. Plank thrusts. Thrusts, we're not trying to keep the knees, when we do squat thrusts from a high position, people don't get the full range of movement, and we don't keep the knees low to the floor. We're trying to bring the knees in up towards the chest. So as a quick example, we're bringing them up. So we're going to try to keep them down nice and low, that kind of angle, but we go into a plank, we take it forward, from there, in, out. That is horrendous. Oh, she's off again. That one will challenge you beyond belief. You are not doing it right if you don't hit 30 seconds and out of breath. And you can gather with a lot of these 10 seconds are starting to challenge you. So again, if you need 15 seconds, 20 seconds, take a little bit longer to get your recovery. From the front, squat thrust, all the way it goes forward. From there, we kick the knees low and get a bigger range as possible. Side on again, get nice and low, take the heels forward, keep close to the floor, in and out. Plank thrusts, plank dives. This is a difficult one, and all you're trying to do is push your weight as far forward as you can and back into what's probably an easier option with plank, what most of you guys are doing anyway. So you end up back in this position. So it's movement. So heels back, forward, back and forward. Keep your hips up throughout. Really get forward on your toes, and we should be almost scratching the tip of our nose with the grass. Right lateral plank, which is what it is. We're not going to put any movement in because we're starting to be challenged here. So all we're going to do, again, position is so important. We need to make sure that we keep everything aligned. The arms should be coming out straight out in front of us, and we'll make sure that the shoulder sits directly under the elbow. So a nice straight line. You know, we shouldn't be too far forward. Keep the chest back. Keep the chest back. Keep the abdominals breathing in, back and engaged. And all we do, we initiate the movement from the hips. We push up from that position, and we want to make sure that we're directly above the elbow and feeling there. If it's not hitting there, the obliques, it's a one opportunity to hit the obliques in this workout. In the other workouts we do a lot of exercises where we come across, we work inside and outside to hit the obliques. There's not much in here. Everything kind of comes on the same plane to attack abdominals. So this is the one opportunity. We obviously always balance it out when we go to the left. So what is key, I always find, is start with the elbow and shoulder. Nice straight line, feet on top of each other. Nothing is going to touch when we push up. All that's going to be engaged in the floor is the outer part of the foot. So ankle doesn't touch, nothing coming in the inside of the leg to the knee. Push up and just make sure you get your hand out of there. You can put it up high for a harder option, put it on your chest, or put it down straight for the easier option. Hold it, make sure that you're coming shoulder over elbow. Left side of the plank, and your final one is plank rotation, which is a plank. We take it up, backwards and forwards. So from a plank, take it forward, you come out and rotate out. Nice tempo, we don't want to go too slow, we don't want to go too fast. Heels forward, rotate out, try to get your elbow pointing up to the sky, and just rotate from outer to inner heel. Plank rotation. So that's 12 minutes long. If you do plank in between, never forget that. Don't rush through those exercises I'll just give you. What makes it a little bit harder, but also giving your lungs a bit of a rest, is putting that plank in between. It's so important that you do A and B, and A is always plank. You always do the plank in a good, effective position, hips slightly high. Make sure that your heels is pushed forward so that you feel that contraction and the stretching your calf muscle up through the hamstring, up to your glutes. If you're not feeling a squeeze on your backside, then you're not doing the plank correctly. Strength will go on shoulders and arms, that will come in time, and that is really going to develop upper body strength. So give that a try, guys. Remember, that is workout 1, and I have 6, so another 5 to bring you. Every one is different. You might say the odd exercise repeat, but they're all different in their own unique way. So give that a try. Doesn't have to be a Sunday morning. Fit that in where you can be. The best windows is on a morning within an hour of rising and an hour before you go to bed to hit core. So give it a try and let us know how you find that workout, guys. Thank you.